Yo guys, this is Reinhardt. Today we would like to discuss about the fitness level and how I guess difficult it is to get into shape in the United States, what potentially could be the barriers of, and I would like to potentially get an approach from not only what to do to lose weight, but also from perspective of how we were raised and the bad habits that were instilled to us by since we were kids. And I have a really good guest. It's my friend on Facebook. His name. By the way, what's your name?
Um,
Because
my
I
real
see
name is George. I
George.
go
Okay.
by Suamaru.
All right. I'll say Sumaru then.
Yeah, Suamaru. Yeah.
So Sumaru, tell me a little bit about your story, a little bit about yourself, please, in terms of fitness.
Well, bodybuilding and weightlifting has been something that I have dedicated a good portion of the last, let's say, 5 years on and off to for my own personal benefits, for my health, so that I can be around longer, live a longer, more fruitful life.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when I was when I was growing up, I grew up poor. My father was overweight. My mother didn't care. Uh, and when you grow up in an environment like that, where you don't have a lot of money and you have to make ends meet, you end up eating cheap, cheap junk. You know, ramen, pasta, just a lot of stuff that is just not good for you. Um, and after my first marriage, I remember being 300 pounds and getting to the top of the stairs in my apartment one day and saying to myself, something has to change, something has to give, because at this rate, I'm not going to be around to take care of my wife in the future.
Okay. How tall are you?
I am 5'10" on a good day.
Okay, I know exactly how you feel, man. I'm 5'9" on a good day.
No.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
So
Um,
300 pounds for five foot
yes,
10.
sir.
That
Yes,
is
sir.
a lot of weight.
That was a lot of weight. Definitely classified as obese. I did lift weights here and there, but nothing too crazy. So I didn't really look like I was 300 pounds. Um, but I decided something has to change. Something has to give. I wanna be there for my wife, and I decided starting January 1st I think it was 2010.
Uh huh.
I'm just going to go balls to the wall.
Okay.
I'm going to revamp my entire eating schedule. I'm going to revamp all of my meals. I'm going
Mm hmm.
to work to do cardio, work to do whatever I can to shred that weight.
Uh
And
huh.
I managed to peel away 80 pounds from January 1st till just after like April 1st.
Okay. So 4 months.
Yes,
No, it's four. It's
80
3 months.
pounds.
It's 3 months, right? From January 1st to April 1st. Because January, February, March.
February, March, April. Okay, maybe it was March 1st. This is like 5 years ago, so this is going back a little bit. But
Okay.
it
So
was averaging.
so give me a second.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the hardest part, by the way. That's basically you're 300 pounds, your joints
Yes.
hurt,
Oh yeah.
you get out of breath a lot, and I'm not saying it like in the condescending voices. I just know how you feel personally.
Oh yeah. Oh, it
So
was horrible. I couldn't walk 12 steps without being out of breath.
okay, so wouldn't you say that the starting was probably one of the most painful things to ever do in the beginning?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was hell. I hurt all the time because I was doing things that my body wasn't used to. I was using muscles that I wouldn't normally use.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going from being sedentary and stationary, and I had an active job, but nothing that really pushed me in the way that actually going out and hiking and walking, trying to run, or getting on a stationary bike was pushing my body.
Okay, so 300 pounds. That's one.
300 pounds.
That's basically that's where people struggle. I believe in the beginning, most of the time. This is the hardest part because while you did lose the weight rapidly, and I think that possibly good genetics actually played a lot in that role to some extent, because 80 pounds in 3 months is quite unusual fit, especially the first months. The first months. The way I look at it is adaptation. Your body adapts to the physical punishment. Technically, that's the way our body looks at it. Our body looks at the fitness, and that's you hurt yourself after working out. It's more like a physical punishment. And while your brain loves it because you have a rush of endorphins, however, on the other hand, your body hates it pretty badly because you
Oh,
hurt.
and it did. The first 2 weeks was just pain, pain. Even later into the first month, it was just constant pain.
Yeah. Well,
Because I wasn't slowing down either. I wasn't giving myself time to recover. If you lift weights, you don't just lift weights every day. You give yourself a little time to recover, even if it's 2 or 3 days in between working any given muscle group. And I just wasn't doing that.
would you think that was a good thing or a bad thing back then? Now that you're looking back.
Um, it's difficult for me to say or quantify that because I was seeing the results that I desperately needed.
Okay. And that's one of those things that gets you addicted. It's
Oh,
seeing the
absolutely.
results. Once you get
Sure.
into that loop of seeing the results, getting the results, it is addicting and it changes your
Yeah.
lifestyle a lot. So
Oh,
I want to get back to, first of all, good job, man.
thank
That's
you.
really impressive, Samara. It's unbelievable. Like I'm pretty sure, even though my philosophy channel will get a couple hundred probably views right now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be touched by that because that is a feat on its own. Now the thing is, I want to go back a little bit towards how we were raised. You said the poor uh, family, malnutrition, obviously, um, which honestly, you know what, this is one of those things in the United States I kind of found out, which is pretty anecdotal. The fat people and the poor people, they suffer from obesity. They don't suffer from the hunger like the other countries do.
Oh yeah. Well, you
Which,
get if you're poor in the United States, you get state aid.
yeah,
WIC, food stamps, and what better way to spend that is on pasta. We ate pasta and rice a lot in my household,
absolutely,
and soda, lots of soda.
and your body
So,
loves that. Your
oh
body
yeah,
loves that. There was a couple different theories about that, by the way, but one of those things that kind of made a little bit more sense to me is basically, believe it or not, back in, let's say, Middle Ages, right, or like 1700 or whatever, how the evolution of the human being went, right? There was a lot of starvation back in the day. So anything that we eat that has a lot of calories in it, our body loves it from the point of just a simple point of preservation.
oh yeah. Carbohydrates are energy.
Yeah,
Our body loves carbohydrates.
absolutely. It's because the body thinks that, well, what if we're gonna start starving soon? We need to save up some of that energy, and that's why the body technically doesn't really like working out that much because you start wasting that energy. But couple centuries now that we are into 21st century, that is absolutely especially in the United States, it just doesn't work that way. And before I start recording, you brought up a good point that's saying, hey, eat everything on your plate, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was the rule in the household. You ate everything on your plate, whether or not you wanted to, whether or not you liked it. You ate everything, or you
Absolutely.
didn't get dessert. And everybody wants dessert, right? You want your
Absolutely.
ice cream, you have to eat all the other crap.
Yeah. And that's the thing that kind of actually makes me a little bit mad, to be honest, is because I was brought up the same way. Eat everything on your plate. And for me, it was more like you're disrespecting the food if you're not eating it fully. Like, don't you like your mom's cooking? Well, why don't you just eat all of it? Oh, you want seconds? Oh, good. You're growing up, boy. You need the calories. Growing
Oh
up,
yeah,
boy. He needs his calories.
and you want to please mom.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
so you got to eat all of her cooking. You got to go back for more.
yeah, and
And
that's bad.
oh yeah, and in my household, it was you eat it all because it's going to go to waste, and we're poor, so we don't want to waste that food. We're not just going to stick it back in the fridge. For some reason, my family just threw it away. So you got to eat it all.
You gotta eat it all. And that's
Yeah.
what. Oh boy. Like, going through all that myself, I exactly know what not to tell to my kids as we're going on. Now, tell me, what is the change was in your diet? And
Um,
people say diet is 80%. Do you agree with that, or do you think it's not really 80%?
I don't. Well,
Because personally,
maybe
let me.
60%. Maybe 60,
I,
65%.
I,
I
I
wouldn't say it's
think it's even
80%.
lower than that, man. I think
Well,
it's maybe even 40. Like, let's put it this way: even if the person is overweight and
mhm,
without even changing significantly his diet, and he starts working out, he's still gonna see results. That's because your
mhm,
body is adapting to the what you're putting it through, and this is how our bodies always adapt to something. So the
mhm.
diet, I don't think it's that much of a difference until you start getting into the plateau effect of your working out and you don't see results. I think diet kind of puts you on the next level. Did you gradually change your diet, or did you just do it right away?
It was right away. It was overnight. Instead of going to Walmart and spending $200 on groceries to feed myself and the wife, it was all right. Well, how can I change this up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to eat just chicken and rice, or tuna salad, cabbage
Gotcha.
soup, negative, yeah, negative calorie things like cucumbers and celery and cold water, and we're just going to slowly transition over to that.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
believe it or not, it's not. I struggled with my weight my entire life, and this isn't the that wasn't the first time that I lost a great deal of weight. I've actually done it twice now. The
Yes.
first time
Same.
was 300 pounds. I lost 80 in the first 4 months, and then gradually over the next year, I got down to 185. But
Mm-hmm.
I live in Massachusetts, and a few years ago, I think it was 5 years ago, four or
Yeah.
5 years ago, we had um, a winter storm in October
Uh
that
huh.
crippled crippled the state. Maybe some of you guys remember that. The day before that storm happened, I was doing some gutter cleaning for my buddy, and it was the last deck of the day. The deck hadn't been treated, and I fell off a ladder, broke my ankle. That didn't help things. I went from being I think it was 190 at the time. I gained probably 40 pounds in a few months because I wasn't able to get to the hospital. I didn't do anything about it. And for
Right.
2 years after, it just hurt. So I stopped running. I stopped exercising. And eventually I got back up to about 260 or 265 ish. And
Gotcha.
last year, I decided, I can't use the ankles as an excuse. I don't like the way that I look. I don't want to hit 300 again. So I revamped the diet again, second time now.
Mm-hmm.
Sat down and did a lot more research than I had the first time. The first time was just 20 minutes of research here, 20 minutes there, and slapping together a program. But
Gotcha.
the last time I spent hours and hours and hours reading articles, seeing what was working for other people, sitting
Okay.
down and actually going through all of the motions again. And it's always difficult. It's really difficult. You make excuses. Oh, 260 isn't that bad. At least I'm not 265. oh, I'm 265. I mean, I can get back down to 260 if I wanted to, but at least I'm not 270. And I just wanted to nip that in the bud because I noticed that that's what I was doing. I
Yeah,
was,
right. And by your body complexion and everything else, it looks like you could hide fat pretty well.
I'm trying to find some of the older photos.
Like for me personally, I can hide fat,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's a bad thing, by the way, because
Oh,
it
absolutely.
doesn't hit you until you're like, okay, fine, I have to do it. Like my sides just start growing. My stomach grows, but it's only the sides started growing and the legs,
Yeah.
the butt, and everything else. And like, okay, well, maybe I'm not that fat compared to the rest of the people here. But as you go along, as you get that threshold, and you start stomach starts growing like it's on steroids. You're like, what is going on there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you this about your diet. How often, how many times a day do you eat?
Uh, Lately,
Mm-hmm.
3.
Three.
But when I'm in the gym and I'm training hard
Mm-hmm.
for the weightlifting, powerlifting, because I like lifting weights, I like powerlifting, trying to push my body a little further. It's
Absolutely.
usually five to 6 times a day.
And this is one of the best thing to do is actually force the adaptation of your body. And
And
that's what I'm kind of trying to in the middle of actually developing the program as well. My idea is that our bodies are smarter than our brains to some extent, and we just honestly we just like if our body would be like a tractor, right? I think like we mishandling them worse than the freaking teenage girls with the cell phones driving a tractor,
playing Pokemon Go.
playing Pokemon Go at the same time. That's how much
Playing Pokemon Go on the tractors. Yeah.
that's how much mishandling we actually put our bodies through. But our body's unbelievable. Like you gain muscle not only by proper eating, getting enough sleep, and everything else like that, right? You gain muscle just by lifting a heavier weight because you need that. Your body needs that adaptation to a heavier weight to
Hmm.
gain more strength. A good example is when I was going through the university, right? There was a kid, extremely poor kid. Like he did not have enough money for food. Like I would see him cut like a third of a protein bar, nip it,
Ugh.
and just save it for a later in the day. He did not have enough food to eat, right? And he wasn't like this bodybuilder, massive, like amazingly big guy, right? But he had a good amount of muscle on him, and he was doing like about 245 bench as a 5'6" guy.
Not too shabby.
Not at all. And he had muscles, even though his diet technically he was not giving his muscles the proper nutrients because of the financial problems he had. And that kind of got me thinking, like, well, is it only a nutrition that forces us? Now, don't get me wrong, like, in your case, the 300 pounds, obviously cutting off soda was probably 20 pounds slashed off your belly. Right there. Just a
Oh,
soda.
easily. You figure
Yeah.
one 2 liter bottle of soda is what, like 800, 900 calories or something silly like that. And if you're drinking 3 or 4 per week, that's a solid pound of fat every
Yeah.
week that you're going to
3,500.
be putting on.
Well, the
Yep.
thing is, it goes beyond that, in my opinion. The reason, like, let's put it this way: if you drink 900 calories of soda versus eating 9 bananas, organic bananas,
Yeah.
tell me are you gonna gain the same amount of fat?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And this is what actually boggles my mind a little bit. And I'm gonna make a separate video on this. I got into argument. So I'm going to my LA Fitness. I'm restarting my gym, and they like, well, this guy comes up to me, yeah, free personal training, right, from a
Mhm.
certified personal trainer, fucking certified. And it's like
Yeah,
Hillary, certified mishandling emails. Certified
yeah, you can
president
get
of United
certified.
States.
You can
Uh,
get certified in 35 minutes online. Anybody can be a certified
yeah.
personal trainer.
So I'm starting to think, I'm like, well, what about the food? He's like, well, get away from fruits. Don't eat a lot of fruits. Don't eat a lot of sugar. I'm like, well, what about avocados? Oh, he's like, oh, you don't need avocados at all. Don't eat avocados. I'm like, what else? He's like, well, good quality grains and chicken. Lots of lean chicken, right?
Mhm.
And in reality, I mean, that's kind of a better than drinking soda and eating pasta with a bunch of sugar added into the pasta to make it taste good. Because we know how our corporations do. They add sugar to into everything. I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
sure they add sugar
absolutely.
to manure so our trees can grow more sugar or something. But the thing is about that is it's absolutely incorrect. Avocado on average has 250 calories.
Yeah.
It is one of the biggest production of folate, and folate is one of those responsible things for actually like it has a lot of healing properties. It actually helps you heal up a little bit faster, helps your joints. Avocado it promotes a lot of natural testosterone production. In that
And
case,
it's high in dietary fiber. It's
absolutely,
really good for you. I think it's vitamin C and B. Is it B6? It's either
yeah,
B6 or B12. It's pretty good. It's pretty good as far as C and I think it's B6 go.
yep,
I would recommend avocados.
absolutely. So, and I'm like, okay, so what's a daily folate or daily potassium intake for the human being? He's like, I'm like, okay, what is a good avocado for? And he's like, I'm like, well, what the hell do I need you for there, man? To show me how to like lift weights? I can look online with a much
Yep.
better fitter person than you are. And he kind of got the message that I thought he was the biggest idiot in the world, certified idiot, in that case. Oh, I just got a text. Oh, wow, dude. Is it? Is
Yep.
it? Do I have your permission to like possibly get on your? Can you in that chat link a picture of modern you, like after weight loss?
I'm getting one of those right now for you. Actually,
Awesome, thank you.
that was that was me at 300. I'm in the middle there, and this was me at 185. I think I was 185 there.
Okay, so just by noticing it, like your face, man, like this is one of those
Oh
things
yeah.
that people don't understand. Like, well, I'm kind of good looking, but no, you do not until you lose weight, because your face gets like your face gets much better looking after you lose
Oh,
weight. It's unbelievable transformation. So great job on that. Um, and that's what boggles my mind is that like in United States, I don't get it, man. Honestly, like, and I'm not one of those like extremely huge health nuts, but eating a GMO chicken, drinking GMO produced milk, which is absolutely disgusting for your body. The reason why
I
people,
can't even recommend drinking milk. The calories, you just don't need the calories.
well,
It can be replaced by just about anything else. It's just
that's true. What about cottage cheese or
cottage
natural
cheese.
yogurt? Cottage cheese is good when
Uh,
you go to bed, like taking it, as far as I know. Um,
it's not bad. It's I don't know much about cottage cheese. I
okay. So there's been a couple studies saying that the slow digestive properties of a cottage cheese actually feeds your muscle as you're sleeping. Basically, it's kind of good. But then again, supposedly there's another study saying our digestive system turns off at about 7 p.m. and everything that you
uh,
eat afterwards, it's extremely decelerated and usually doesn't pick up very well. So eating at night is actually not the best thing to do. Like, I mean, there's one study that contradicts the other one, and then a third one that contradicts all of them. And it's for a person trying to lose weight and doing research, it's nightmarish a little bit at
oh,
the same time.
absolutely.
So
Everyone wants to get their point across, and everyone wants to be right. So hell, they'll fudge statistics to get a report out there saying whatever they want to say. Oh,
yeah.
it's good for you. Oh, it's bad for you.
Now, do you want to hear a few things about the GMO from my personal experience?
Go for it.
Okay. Came to the
This is your
United
channel,
States
bro.
when I was 18 years old. 147 pounds. I ate fast food twice a week. That's it. 18 years old. I was playing soccer about 2.5, 3 hours a week. Which is technically speaking, and the soccer you run a lot.
Oh yeah.
I went from 147 pounds to 207 pounds. Eating my most diet, 85% of my diet was the same as back in Russia.
That is crazy.
And I'm looking like, why did I gain so much weight? Because honestly, the way I look at it is our bodies are not meant to be fat at all. And yes, there's a lot of calories, but if you look at all the chemicals they put in the food, if you look at all like mistreatment the animals have, the GMO products that they force feed the animals, like this is crazy. Like a corn,
Hmm.
the rats fed with the GMO corn develop tumors in weeks. At the
I
same
think I've
time,
read that study. I think I read that study.
they feed cows with a GMO corn, and they make the cows, they actually force feed some synthetics and some chemicals, because the cows is not producing milk unless she has an udder, unless she has the baby.
And all of the growth hormones.
But in United States, we found a way synthetically to, not organically, to force the cow to give milk all year long. So they feed her with the GMO corn, and the cow gives milk. That is not naturally. And that milk goes into our cheese products. And dairy is a huge ice cream. Anything, like if you touch anything dairy wise, you're like, oh my god, this is insane.
I cannot recommend dairy,
I
and
know.
especially
But
from cow's milk.
cows, I never liked drinking milk to be honest. But I ate a lot of like, I ate whipped cream, I ate homemade bread in Russia with like it's called like a cheesiness, like Danish cheeses. Like I ate a bunch of sweets back in Russia, and I was 147 pounds. And a year later, 207. But it's the food here. It's the portions of the food were larger than in Russia, but the quality of the
Oh yeah.
food is also so much worse. So when the people come up to me and they're like, "Oh my god, I cannot afford organic food." I'm like, "Well, you can afford organic food. You just if you have financial problems, you cannot afford as much organic food as the junk that you're eating, technically speaking." When we were poor in Russia, you know how often we had meat? Once every
Often.
3 days, once every 5 days. But it was a natural, organic,
Mhm.
grass-fed meat. So with that said, is do on I understand financial problems and everything else, but at the same time, if you can afford pizzas and pastas and all the other garbage, don't you think that you technically can afford eating really nice organic meat? You just need to reduce the consumption of it and reduce the portion sizes. And from there, nothing bad is gonna happen. If anything, you're gonna lose more weight because you eat less portions and
And
sizes.
that I I don't want to interrupt, but I think that also kind of falls into one of those categories where we don't like to suffer here in America. So yeah, we can't afford the organic food because it costs a dollar here more, $2 more. Because we need to put that money towards other things, cigarettes, pizza, eating out, putting
Cell
more
phones,
other
cell phone bills.
alcohol, drugs, all of the other nonsense that we have to funnel into our bodies.
Car payments,
Our payments,
mortgages. Let's get the car that
mortgages.
we can barely afford, but it's gonna look good to impress our neighbors that we don't give a shit about.
Meanwhile, we're 300 pounds and we can't walk up the stairs
Yes, and cannot, and that's
because we can't afford the organic food.
oh
It's a
my god.
vicious it's a vicious American cycle.
It's a
It's
it
just how we were born, how we were raised.
it really is, and trust me, I went that route the first couple years that I came to this country, and then I kind of went on a healthy. I don't now looking back, it wasn't healthy. It was just a bunch of chicken, raw chicken, some oats, and everything else. But it was not the best quality, not the organic, not the amazing. Now looking back at all of that and all of the mistakes I made, I kind of understand that no matter of the financial situation, the biggest respect you have to put in is your body first and your health first. Because you
Oh,
have more
absolutely.
energy. You have more energy to go and tackle. For God's sakes, go and drive for Uber for 5 hours a week. If it'll make a difference between organic and not organic. It's just we want everything that's tasty. And the food is a huge comfort. It's addiction, it's a comfort.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I suffer from pretty bad depression. And if I'm having a really bad day,
Hmm.
first thing I'll do is, oh, well, I mean, I guess I can have an extra cheat day this week. Let's go order a pizza.
Yeah, I know. I know
But
exactly
yeah,
what you're talking, man. Extra cheat
comfort
day.
eating is very, very bad.
Gotcha. Um,
And
talking about the
trying,
you mentioned depression, right?
yes,
So I'm
also does not help.
obviously, and that's where your competitive gaming comes in, because competitive gaming is a great way to heal the depression, because you're too much into the killing other people like you're about to play League of Legends, because that makes you feel
It
good. Good
takes your mind
matches.
off of everything else. You forget everything else around you
Absolutely.
because you're too busy focusing on your creep score.
Yep. Simara, how often do you meditate throughout the day?
Meditate? I don't.
Don't. Okay.
I don't really meditate.
I honestly never believed in that too, because I thought it was a wushu and whatever it is, right? You know what
Hmm.
I found out that, and I went through some depressive stages in my life, pretty bad too. Especially now that I'm quit a corporate job to just focus on myself, and the first thing I felt is fucking fear.
Which I have to congratulate you for. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. So, and I have a couple months. I have enough money saved, a good amount of money saved, so I can focus on what I like, focus on myself, and then if I need to find a job, I can look more forward to. But the thing is, I noticed that a lot of the depression and a
Oh, that
lot of
makes sense.
problems comes in is
Hmm.
from not loving yourself as much.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm trying to send you photos, but
Yeah, I
it's not
see that,
filtered.
man. Thanks, by the way. And that's the thing, and that's what I found, Samara, is one of those things is I'm making research on that, and hence why I'm not even want to touch a lot of the like working out and everything else before I get myself in a better shape than I am now.
Mhm.
And the second is before I can have a lot of proper statistical research and everything else. But from my perspective, from my experience, what I've been changing right now is meditation is one of the best things you can do to start loving yourself. It
And
keeps your mind clear. It clears up your negative thoughts.
it gives you time to focus on things and better
Hmm.
put things into perspective. I can definitely see a benefit to it.
Yeah, like 5 minutes, a couple times a day. It's not much. The second is the power of I am, and I'm following one of the brilliant doctors, John Bergman, on YouTube. And one of those, like the power of I am, is absolutely unbelievably good. If we can, I don't know, while we're driving to work, say something like, I'm powerful. I'm strong. I'm actually capable of doing that. I'm gonna tackle this day. And I'm gonna be very productive. I love my wife. I love myself. I love my wife. I love my kids. I cannot wait to come back to my family. Guess how much energy that puts into you personally? How
The
much
power of
positive?
positive thinking. Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. And that's what I'm going through, and it's like wow, just a difference in your day-to-day attitude is absolutely fantastic. And at that point in time, you start loving yourself more, and then you look at the extra cheat meals and everything else, and you're like, yeah, I don't feel crappy enough today. I'm gonna hold on to that. So, but at the same time, if you are feeling kind of a crappy, or if you feel like having extra cheat day or anything else like that, why the hell not? Like, that's one of those things I notice is that people who start losing weight, wow, is that once they have this cheat meal, sometimes they just completely stop working out and think they're failures. And this
Yep.
is not 100% true because it's fine. Have your cheat day. But then be a little bit more productive. Or don't be. But don't go on the road of penalizing yourself with negative thoughts just because you did a cheat meal. Because that's
Yeah,
not
just
good.
work a little harder the next day. Just walk 10
Exactly.
minutes more, jog 10 minutes more. I
Yeah.
have a cheat meal every Saturday. The last few weeks, I've been going to one of the local buffets. We have an all-you-can-eat
Oh.
sushi buffet I went to this past weekend.
Oof. I'm jealous. That's awesome.
Oh,
So good.
yeah. I sent you a couple of photos. Me at 260 after I decided that I needed to lose all the weight again. And
Yeah.
then one that I took maybe
And I can
a
see
week ago.
you trying to hide your fat in that witch costume a little bit.
Sweatshirts everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep, sweatshirts everywhere because baggy pants and sweatshirts everywhere because you look like crap, you feel like crap, you want to hide it.
But then,
Absolutely.
yeah. And
And
as
now,
you lose weight, you start loving yourself more and more and more. And the way it works is, there's again another study, is the more the more you fill yourself with love, the more love you have to give.
mhm,
It's not one of those things like, oh, well, I just have this X amount of love to give away. No, it's just a human nature. The neurons in our brains, they made it so it's actually there's one lose it or use it or lose it. There's a documentary movie called Happy, where technically if we don't use our happy neurons, if we don't feel happy and loving ourselves, then those neurons start subsiding in our brain, which is really scary. Come to think
that
about it.
actually makes sense. If you have a moment, could you link me that
The
at some
movie.
point if you remember? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to see that.
If you don't mind, I'll do it right after I'm done recording.
No, yeah, yeah. Whenever you're done.
Okay, it's like $3 to rent it on YouTube. That's where I got it. But pretty sure there's a lot like third party, illegitimate websites that do that too.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yes. So
All right, where were we?
we were in about the food industry, the addiction, the forced addiction that kind of gets fed to us. The I noticed with the United States is the health, like, oh, I don't know, man, indoctrination after indoctrination after indoctrination. The Coca-Cola commercials of people running on the soccer field playing soccer.
Hmm?
What? Really? People playing soccer, being fit, drinking Coca-Cola. What kind of images and what kind of message it puts in our brain?
That it's okay to drink Coca-Cola, but
Yeah.
we are also taught that we're not taught portion control. So while it is okay to drink a little Coca-Cola here and there, we don't need 3 gallons of Coca-Cola
Okay.
per week.
You want to hear some scary statistics? A little bit?
Absolutely, I love scary statistics.
Mexico. They drink lots of Coca-Cola there. A lot. You know, like the Mexican Coca-Cola, and by the way, that's where I grew up, kind of having a nice, refreshing, cold Coca-Cola bottle of the glass bottle, like 250 milliliters, right? They give it to their kids. They cook naturally good foods, but they always have a lot of Coke. And it obviously depends from family to family, but the consumption of sugar in Mexico is extremely alarming. Guess what? They have 75,000 amputations a year because of a diabetes, because of overconsumption of sugar. 75,000 people lose their limbs.
How does that correlate to statistics of Americans? Do you have the statistics of
I need
how
to
many
look into
petition?
Americans. I was looking for it. I could not find. Like this is some level. I found the statistics on the Great Britain. On the Britain, it's 7,500. Something crazy like 55-60% of the kids before age of 5 lose their teeth because of a consumption of sugar. And it not necessarily
That's
doesn't
crazy.
have, but the breeding has a different, like they drink Coke, but it's not only Coke, it's the pasta, it's the tomato sauce. The freaking um 17 grams of sugar in a McDonald's salad. You're ordering a salad trying to be healthy and you get bombarded with 17 grams of sugar. Sugar added into the salad to make it taste good.
I can't even eat McDonald's anymore.
I know. But a lot of people do. A lot of, again, those happy memories, those happy advertisements. Ah, kids,
Mhm.
there's a Ronald McDonald, right? I saw a caricature, a little meme where a Joker is laughing at Ronald McDonald, and Ronald McDonald's like, "What are you laughing at? I killed more people than you did."
That's great. I actually
Scary.
have a funny story about the last time I ate McDonald's. Uh, I was coming back from an hour and a half car ride
Mm-hmm.
to pick up a snake, and I decided, oh man, I'm kind of hungry. Hey, I haven't had a Big Mac in a while, and they have this good deal going on right now. So I stopped off and I got a couple of Big Macs, and I'm about 20 minutes into my ride. My stomach started acting up,
Oh
and it
God.
started raining. It started raining, and the rain broke into a downpour, and you couldn't really see on the highway. I threw up. While I'm driving, I tried to hit the bag, ended up throwing up all over myself. It was just such a horrible experience. I can't eat McDonald's anymore. After eating healthy and clean for so long, even with my cheat meals, I just can't eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
There's so much oil and grease. I
My
can't eat it. Just
my cheat meals are Barro's pizza, and even the
and
cheat.
that's not even.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but I'm like you. I just like I went from eating fast food, like not fast food, but eating like Chipotle, which is halfway decent, but it's not really that good for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially the sodium levels are absolutely just insane. That's another thing. It's sodium, but sodium nearly like sodium and sugar, right? White death. Everybody calls it, and it
yeah,
really
yeah.
is.
Absolutely.
So, but like I went from there to the point where like I need to eat. If I eat, even if on my cheat meals I go to like Peter Jungle or something like that. That's what I consider sometimes to some extent a little bit of a cheat meal. And I order and
Yeah.
there's a bit of a panini bread, couple slices, small.
Mhm.
That's mini cheat meal for me. And then probably if I want to like just completely gorge on something, it's a vegetarian pizza at Barrows with a meat lover combined. It's a stacks of like there's bell peppers, tomatoes, onions, olives with a bacon, sausage, pepperoni, everything. It's beautiful. And that's
So
okay to eat those. As long as you care, as long as you have the balance. But the only
yeah,
balance that you can achieve and the only way you can start getting into that thinking is again, it's just from technically loving your body and respecting it a little bit more. Understanding that this is the one that was given to us. Unless you're a multi-millionaire, couple hundred years down the road, where they can potentially swap out the consciousness or something like that,
pour your brain
we
into a
really,
computer.
yeah, we really cannot abuse it.
Yeah, and especially if you have a significant other or a child, you want to
Yeah.
be there.
No, man. Wait a second. Especially if you're single and you're trying to get laid. That too.
That too. That too.
It goes.
Yeah,
It
after my
just goes around ways.
oh yeah, after my first wife left, man, I was hitting it all the time. I was working out constantly.
Yeah. It's the way it works. It's
Yeah.
that's part of me that I kind of actually hate a little bit about United States is that I find the women here care about the abs a little bit more than the perspective of how smart the person, how smart the guy is, or what he can do to bring into the table, or how he grows up, or what's his financial status, or how
Yeah.
smart he is financially. As long as he has abs, abs
Yeah.
are everything nowadays.
Quick fact: recent study shows that a woman is more inclined towards somebody with nice arms, good solid arms, than actually having a six pack of abs.
Oh.
And that's something that I've really struggled with between being fat and being fit.
Uh-huh.
When I was fat, the second time when I was fat, I kind of missed being wanted for my body, but when I was fit, it's like I wish that people wanted me for my intellect, what I brought to the table.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
But
then the thing is, the fit version of you gets attention from better looking women than the
oh yeah,
chubbier version of you. Obviously, at least initial attention, it's there.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Went through the same thing.
I've never paid for a drink at a bar when I was fit.
Wait, the girls bought you drinks?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've
Which
never
state do you live
purchased.
at?
I live in Massachusetts.
Okay, yeah, I live in Arizona, man.
Yeah, I know.
Arizona women are
I-
terrible for the most part. There's a few good ones, but most of them it's like you have to like jump through 10 different hoops. You have to know the art of the game. There's so many pickup artists here. It's ridiculous. It's like let's
You have to
trick
know
a
the secret
woman by
handshake.
that we're not interested in her by saying something negative about her that think that we're special and different, so then she's gonna start liking us. Oof, it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's pretty. I
So
wouldn't deal with that. Screw that.
yeah. By the way, I think we're kind of getting close to the fitness levels. And by the way, as I'm gonna be going through the program and developing, and like, obviously, I would like to keep in touch with you and possibly discussing the different moves, discussing a workout program, discussing the meal plan, and everything else.
Absolutely.
One thing I want to tell you that's the research I'm making, and that's something that I would like to talk about is a little bit for the people who are thinking to start up. And Sumaro, you are an exception. You really are. I am not like, well, I don't know. I'm doing a CrossFit and I'm weightlifting right now, twice a day,
Mhm.
and that's a lot of pressure. It requires some sort of a willpower, right?
Absolutely. You have to want it. That's the biggest thing is you have to really, really want it.
And that's one of those things. However, in order to really, really want it, you have to hit the rock bottom first.
Yep.
The problem is a lot of people don't hit the rock bottom.
Yeah.
A lot of people they get complacent, and
Yep.
then
Exactly.
this is the thing. I had a actually ex girlfriend, and I'm like, dude, girl, like we need to lose weight. Like you overweight, and she's like, you fucking asshole! Don't ever tell me that. I'm like, well, what else? How else I can say it? Because honestly, you need to lose weight, hon. And I'm saying it because I'm interested more and more dating you instead of going and cheating behind your back with somebody a little bit more fit than you are, or a lot more fit. But
And if,
the
if they can't care for themselves, what does that really say?
absolutely.
Plus, if you're going to be in a relationship with the intention of marriage, which is I only enter relationships with the intention of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to be around as long as they possibly can.
Yeah. It's not even
If they're going to
that. People who work out, they have more endorphins hitting their
that
brain.
too.
They're more happier about their lives. Are you happy right now, or you're more depressed right now when you compare to what you were 300 pounds?
Oh, I actually have a reason to live now. I didn't really have a reason to live. I was just going through the motions. It's like, okay, wake up, go to work, come
Yeah.
home, eat, play video games, forget how much I hate my life. But now I'm fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
working towards a bunch of my life goals. I'm trying to shake this last little bit of weight off. I
Mm-hmm.
want to drop another maybe 5 pounds. I'll be happy with 5 pounds.
Gotcha.
And yep.
Okay. So this is something that and I guess this is something I can. I heard a little bit about it, but as I'm doing research, I'm kind of want to actually clarify it a little bit. I want to talk about one thing. It's called mind adhesion, and
Okay.
it's something a bit of an abstract, but it makes a lot of sense. Let's say you want to lose weight, but you kind of want to lose weight. You're not Sumaru, who
Mhm.
is had to hit the rock bottom and say, I got the willpower, I know I can do it, and I know I got it in me. It's time to start doing it. But you kind of want to lose weight, you kind of want to do it, you kind of want to start doing it, but you don't want it 100%. You want it 70%, 60%, right? So when that person goes to the gym and he does exercises and everything else, and he wakes up sore as hell the next day, and even if you want it as bad as you were, guess what happens? What does your mind tell you that? What does your mind tell you in that
Well,
case?
why am I doing this? It hurts.
Exactly. Fuck. Screw that. No way. This is
And it
terrible.
and it gets worse because the pain isn't it hasn't it's not at its apex on the first day. So then you wake up the second day or the third day and it's
Yeah.
even worse. And you're just telling yourself, why do I no, I don't wanna I was okay, but I mean I
You
kinda
wake
wanna
up
lose the
and for
weight, but
some reason, just to move your arm, you feel like there's a knife stabbing your chest.
yep.
And your brain is like, no. And this is what happens is, and it happened to you, it happened to me, it happened to everybody. It's like, okay, so I'm finishing at 5. I'm gonna go to the gym at about 6. Well, you know what? I'm gonna to go to the gym as soon as I get home. I'm just gonna go home, and I'm just gonna get a little snack. But I'm still gonna go not at 6 as I planned, but I'm gonna go at 6:30. And at 6:30 comes in. Okay, I'm just gonna have one game of League of Legends, and I'm done. And then
Oh, but
oh,
I lost that
exactly.
game and I don't want to end on a bad note. So yeah, I'll just go tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, well, it kind of goes this way. Okay, I'm gonna get win. Oh, okay, I won, but I lost the other one. I'm only 1-for-1 ratio. Maybe I should one win one more. Well, I'm right now. I'm sore. I'm hurting. Yeah, you know what? I actually not gonna go to the gym right now. I'm gonna go tomorrow. And
Yep.
tomorrow comes and the same thing. So
You
what
just repeat
happens
that
is all
repeat
those
that process in your
excuses,
brain.
all that procrastination, and to biggest extent there is a procrastination, but a lot of the procrastination like there is a specific valid reason why we're procrastinating as people. It always is behind our brains. It's not something like I'm a chronic procrastinator. No, you're not.
You
If
just don't
you're
have the willpower.
no, it's not even the willpower to some extent. It's just not understanding how your brain works. Um,
Mhm.
let's put it this way: if the person I'm like, well, why am I procrastinating studies when I'm in my fucking video game? Everything is on point. My bag space is on point, but my room is a mess. This is on point, but like, what is going on? Like, I'm so much more neatly person in the game compared to real life. So that's not a procrastination, technically speaking. The amount of effort we put into video game and our online personas is ridiculous, and we're not procrastinating about that, do we?
Nope.
Absolutely not. So, but the mind that hates working out will make excuses in your head to not do it, to do it later, to postpone the next day. Oh, you sore. Okay, okay, yeah. Well, you can still walk on a treadmill with an incline, and you'll burn a good amount of calories. No. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that. And
Then my legs will be sore, and then I'll be sore all over, and I don't want to hurt everywhere.
absolutely. But the thing is that what I found out, the best way to fight it is actually for the person who don't really want it 100%, for them to make it more of a gradual change. To go to the gym and only do 6 sets instead of 12 or 18 that they wanted. Gets a bit of a soreness, that's fine. Do it for 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, modify your calorie intake a little bit. If you drink 6 cups of soda a day, drink 5 for a week. You still see the difference. Obviously, it's not going to be as dramatic and as good as yours, and the progress will be a little bit slower,
But you will see progress.
and that will start feeding your brain a good things that comes from that. It changes, and all of a sudden you want more. You get addicted to that change. It's like getting rating in video games. Is you start getting some rating, you're like, oh, I guess I can progress better and better and better and better. You start progressing, you're like, well, how can I push myself more? Okay, I gotta do a little bit more sets in the weightlifting the next week. So you all of a sudden you're bumping from 6 sets to 12 sets. Oh, okay. I want a little bit more progress now. Well, maybe I can cut down soda to 2 cups a day. And that gradual progress process actually works for people a lot more with a lot higher percentage, in my opinion, will work with a lot of higher percentage rate than just I'm fed up, I need to change.
Yeah.
Because as you fed up, I'm fed up, I need to change, that's hitting the rock bottom. But not many at the rock bottom. And also for those people who try to change, they have friends who bring pizzas, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's the worst.
And then you start thinking like, and you start saying, oh no, I am on a diet. They're like, what the fuck, you're on a diet, bitch, please, right? And then start
Oh, yeah.
laughing at you. But if you're starting it, maybe you're not gonna have 6 slices of pizza, but only 4. Your friend's not gonna notice any difference. They're not gonna put you down for trying to be a little bit more healthy. And maybe a couple months down the road, once you start transferring to the healthy, all of a sudden people like, hey, do you want pizza? No. Boo, loser. Whatever, I'm skinnier than you. Look at my changes. And that's just how it works. Like the confidence is built. It's not just rising up. People cannot just say confidently, I don't want this piece of pizza. When they were fed, like programmed by generation, that's the best thing ever possible. Look at all the memes. Look at all the things like, oh, pizza, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably what I would get more research, but that's my adhesion in my opinion. Just a little changes will actually start adding up and adding up and adding up to the point where you notice you just change your lifestyle completely 100%. Now, that's what happened to me. Like I didn't do it everything like sudden. I did just a little bit of change, a little bit of a change, a little bit of change.
And I don't even necessarily know if I would recommend anyone just do what I did. I think that it creates such a large margin of error if you just go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
I definitely think that a gradual approach may have a higher success rate.
I honestly think so as well. Because as you did like gradually, I went from eating Chipotle to Matt Greens to after that, like for me it was just general like less calories throughout the day, no drinking calories, Coke and everything else, to the salads and more greens to the point where I'm like, okay, let's go to the organic route now. But I didn't just went organic, greens, everything from day one. Because it's hard.
Oh yeah.
It's hard on your wallet, especially if you don't have a proper research done where the best prices, where the best places to buy a better quality food. Especially when you don't have enough like knowledge to do it and you don't really want to do it because obviously who would if you go from pizza to eating the freaking salads, how bad are you gonna feel? Like fuck this. This feels like grass. But as you change your lifestyle, this grass becomes more tastier than a freaking burger or pizza.
Then you find things to supplement the grass with. Uh,
Yeah.
my diet for a little while, every single day, my first meal of the day was a salad, half a head of lettuce, half
Mm-hmm.
of a green pepper, half of an onion because I freaking love onions,
Okay.
can of tuna fish, a little bit of sriracha, and a little bit of dressing. Mix
Nice.
that up. Tastes amazing. Very low calories.
My
400 calories.
my morning, going out in my yard, picking up figs that we grow, pick up an orange, and just binge on my sweets. That's my bit of a sweet fix for the day. But it's 100% organic. It's actually good for you. It's not bad for you. It's a good source of energy. And in the morning, your body needs carbohydrates.
Yep.
Not your body, your brain needs them more than anything else. And there's been a study: if you eat a lot of proteins in the morning, your brain, because your brain needs the glucose, because your brain needs the actually carbohydrates to function. You know what your body gonna do? You're gonna transform those proteins into carbohydrates. It will actually change the formula and structure of them, just so your brain can get some brain food in the morning. And as I go throughout the day, there where salad and chicken and everything else comes in. Instead of that certified idiot who told me, oh yeah, the fruits are bad, the avocado is bad, just eat vegetables, eat non-organic chicken, it doesn't really matter, eat a bunch of oats or a bunch of grains. And grains are good, I think, but I don't really like eating a lot of grains. It's fruits, veggies.
Depends on the grains.
Yeah. I'm actually experimenting with moringa right now. Moringa is amazing, man.
Moringa.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with that. I don't think I
Uh,
heard of it.
I'll give you some links. It's unbelievable. But I think we are kind of at the end of our podcast because it's been already an hour. Holy moly!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's a lot to talk about.
Yes. Anyway, there's gonna be more. If you guys want to see more videos like that, let me know in the comments below. And I think that's about it. Thank you very much. Hopefully you guys liked
Oh.
it.